Turbo Conquering Mega Eagle. Alright folks, how you doing? So we're getting back on with the crane. Today's job is to make a new gearbox to drive the main reduction gearbox. Okay, so if you go back, the last thing I did was produce a carriage for the crane which runs along the I-beam, and that has the winch drum on it, and the winch drum's driven by a 50-to-1 worm drive box, which means you don't need any ratchets or anything like that. And I want to power that worm drive box with a small two-stroke engine. Yeah, so what a peculiar shape this thing is. It is a pretty standard strimmer engine. So this is 25cc, I think. 28. So what? I think it's got an output of about 1 kilowatt. Yeah. So not huge output, but certainly I think enough for my crane. And it's got a centrifugal clutch in there. Yeah. So this is going to be perfect. Alright then folks. Okay. So I was originally going to try and make an actual gearbox with a case. Then that got downgraded to a contact wheel and belt drive that would be sand cast, and then that got downgraded to lost foam cast shapes, which could then be machined. And you know, this is what I went with in the end. So I ran out of kerosene as well. So many things went wrong. Ran out of kerosene for the burner, so I ended up using a fire extinguisher with an oven element wrapped around it. Just a quick bodgy way of getting aluminium hot. And there's my lost foam casting. Very handy, just to, you know, turn little bits of alley into a big bit, you know. If you haven't got any stock the right size, I suppose. And there we go. That's the rough castings. Some of them didn't come out too well, so but like I said, it doesn't matter because I was just using this technique to get some big lumps of alley that I could turn down. Okay, and after a bit of time on the lathe, this is what we've got. So that's a piece that slides into the strimmer engine. That takes a bearing, funny shape because that's got to attach to something else, and the bearing retaining cap, and the drive pulley / contact wheel. Yeah, so V-belt pulley and a rub wheel at the same time. Whoop, very nice. And here, the other side of things, this goes onto the 50-to-1 reduction box. We have again a bearing housing that bolts onto our other gearbox, a bearing cap, and this is the other contact wheel and pulley. This one has a tyre off a Zimmer frame. That's a walker. I don't know what they call in the rest of the world. What old people use. Yeah. And so I just drilled a few holes for the bearing cap and tapped the bearing housing. I'm gonna fit it all together before I make the shafts, just so I don't get my measurements wrong. Same on the other bearing housing. There we go. That's the 50-to-1 reduction box that's taking its bearing housing there. And having drilled and tapped the two halves of that wheel assembly, it's just going together. Looks like a proper NASA job, doesn't it, lads? Eh? Okay, I'm back onto the steel now. This is just making some shafts for those 4 components. And cutting some keyway slots. I've put a chuck in my horizontal mill. It does cut keyways a lot faster like this. Sped it up, that's why it sounds so nasty. And here we've got to cut a square onto the end of the shaft to go into the socket in the engine. So the centrifugal socket in the engine has a centrifugal clutch in the engine has a square socket. I think they're the same on most strimmers or trimmers, whatever you want to call it. Okay, alright, this is my little tool I made for the shaper for cutting internal keyways. Another little delay. Had to make tools. That's quite a tricky one. Ended up soldering a broken drill bit into the end of that bit of rod, bit of round stock, and that fits in the tool holder, which then goes in the machine's tool holder. I can switch between them. And the little shaper did an absolutely astounding job, which is good. You can see my my homemade tool there. It's pretty quick, this thing. I mean, it's as quick as it needs to be cutting a keyway, which is really mostly what I anticipate using it for, to be honest. Did a very nice job. It's only aluminium, obviously, but yeah, made short work of it, nice and straight. Okay, that's enough of that now, surely. I've got a loose screw there on the shaper. Didn't notice that whilst I was using it. Okay, so we've got a keyway cut in our shaft, and the keyway cut in the pulley contact wheel. Whoa, lovely. Are they? Okay, and the other one with the key cut going into the 50-to-1 reduction box. Bearing housing going on. Okay, and there we've got the pulley and wheel assembly on the reduction box, and just offering up the whole thing. Hopefully now you can get a better idea of what's actually going to happen. The engine itself is going to pivot to engage forward, reverse.
The nuclear power wasn't really needed.
Okay then. All right, we got the engine hung on this lever. It's quite well, no, it's not hard to explain, is it? This whole thing's upside down at the minute, so the engine's the right way up, but it just spins on that shaft. It attaches on that, and you know what that looks like anyway, because you've seen me make it. So when we put that whole carriage the other way up on the crane, I'll just rotate that 180 degrees. I've got a few bits I need to sort out still once it's on the crane. I can't really do them now. This lever will come down to about waist height, and this will be about 7.5 foot up in the air. And we'll have the throttle and kill switch down there. I just I just looked for a gasket kit for this. This engine, I don't know where it's come from, but I put fuel in it, it runs, but you know, it's doing a lot of surging and it won't make any power, it bogs down, so I've got to either strip the carburetor or put a new one on, and I just see them, they're like £4.50 on Amazon, so I'll get a new carburetor. That should be here tomorrow, but I don't know, things are hectic here at the minute, lads, so I figured I'd just finish up this video whilst I've got a chance. Let's try and get it running. It does bog down when it runs nicely, right, for a few seconds. It will spin that drum no problem, but just bear that in mind. We've not got a good carburetor on here at the minute. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I've done a couple of other little things. I've been putting grease nibbles in various places, like there as well. Well, I need some paint as well, really, I suppose. So let me fire this up and show you what's going on. Oh dear, yeah, it needs that new carburetor. Okay, just tried a bit of inner tube on the contact wheel, it just blew straight off. Okay, so I really do need a new carby on this. It's just not running properly at all. I can't get any power with a load on it. You know, it'll run up to speed 3, but not with the load on. And you know, it's perhaps not best to spin it up and then jam it against the tyre, because that will just ruin the tyre prematurely, won't it? Yeah, I've really got to pin this on the crane. It'll be a lot easier to operate as well. I put the, like I say, if I put the throttle on the end of that pole, and then I'll have something to push on and operate the throttle at the same time. That'll get a nice bit of force against those two contact wheels, and this will work. It'll work. It works fine with the belt. It's just but with the belt, I suppose I can rev it up and then engage the belt. But this has got a centrifugal clutch on it, so there's really no need to do that. I mean, it's got to be better to put the tension on either the belt or the wheel, and then bring it up to speed and engage that clutch. So, so what? Yeah, like I say, that engine will turn for 180 degrees, and this whole thing will go for 180 degrees and slide onto the crane. We've got to put this on the crane. I'm going to throw some paint on this before it goes on the crane. Not so worried about the crane. I mean, you know, it's merely that these are sheet steel, and this stuff isn't going anywhere. It can rust a little bit until summertime when it's warm enough to paint it outside, and then what we'll get this operating over the whole. Yep. All right. Okay. I'll catch you again in a bit. Bye bye.